Welcome to Dr. Tuteja Talk Show. And today's our guest faculty is Dr. Newton Luiz, a senior consultant from Kerala, and he is going to talk about the sleepy adolescent. He is MD/DCH DNB FIP, senior pediatrician Kerala from 1991. Over 400 talks to the adolescent parents and doctors. Author of chapter in textbook of pediatrics, published a book on child care in Malayalam in 2019. Son is a cyber security expert in Germany as a added qualification and prestige to the family. Daughter is an assistant professor of sociology. So you are expert in both sociology as well as in the cyber security also. Dhanya Mission Hospital, Kotta, Kerala. Our aim of life to update a society is the aim of Dr. Tuteja Talk Show. If you like our aim, that we are on the right path, please subscribe channel and like the faculties who are devoting their time to us. I welcome again Dr. Newton Luiz. He's a close friend also. And very expert in, is a very good orator. I invite him to start his slideshow, and I can ask first question that is on sleepy adolescent. Dr. Newton, you believe?
So are my slides clear?
Yeah. You believe that the high school children do not sleep adequately these days and that they seriously affect their studies. Let's discuss how much sleepy an adolescent needs and why he needs so much sleep and how we can get enough sleep and whether he will benefit from sleeping more. Can you give me an example of one of your adolescent patient who was sleep deprived? You are welcome, sir.
Yes, sir. See, this is a typical example. There is this boy, Santosh, a reasonably smart student, good student, generally gets around the 10th rank in the class, passes all his exams well. He is now in the 10th standard board exams, very sincere. Now, 4 months before this major exams, he suddenly becomes very restless and boisterous in the class. Supposing the teacher is a little late to enter the classroom, or the teacher is absent for one period. Normally, because it's the final year, the students are all seriously sitting and studying. They don't want to waste time. But this boy, suddenly, he becomes very noisy. He starts cracking jokes. He starts making noise and disturbs all the other students. This is not his normal behavior. So I get a complaint that he's a very nice chap, but now he has some problem. Can you talk to him? So then I only asked him one question because it was such a common experience for me. I asked him, at what time do you sleep these days? How many hours do you sleep these days? Then he told me that he always used to sleep 9 hours, but now, being the 10th standard, he wondered, why should I be satisfied with 10th standard, the 10th rank? I want to come into the first rank. So I will study 8 hours a day. I will study up to 1 a.m. every morning. Then I will go to sleep. And at 5 a.m., my mother, when she wakes up, she will wake me up. I will sleep only 4 hours. I will study 8 hours. And then I will come first in the class. So he is very proud of this decision. He is very happy and he's sincerely following this decision. The result is that he is a little tired and confused in the daytime. And that is why he is happy, cheerful, but still confused and disturbing other people. So then I explained to him that if you do not sleep, your brain will become tired and you will forget what you are studying and you will make mistakes and you will do badly in the exams. It is dangerous. You must sleep as usual 9 hours a day. He was surprised at this advice, but he discussed with his parents, he discussed with the teachers, and finally he compromised. He settled for 6 hours. Within within 1 or 2 weeks, his behavior became normal and peaceful. But I was still worried that he will do badly. Fortunately, when the exams came, he did reasonably well. His rank did not improve despite studying 6 hours a day, but his rank remained as usual around 10th rank. He did not deteriorate, but he did not improve also. So the story ends happily. The basic problem was lack of sleep.
So you recommend that a high school student should sleep 9 hours a day. Isn't that excessive? They need to study a lot too these days because there's a lot of competition going on in the academic area, and the children are fussy about sleeping and want to study more devote time.
Sir, first of all, there is something called a normal sleep requirement. This graph and these values that I've shown here are graphs and values which were discussed, which were prepared 50 years ago, and no change has occurred in the last 50 years. These were by studying normal children, millions of them, these values were obtained. And it shows that, and it is fully endorsed by all the authorities in the field of pediatrics for the last 50 years. It shows that the newborn sleeps maximum and sleep requirement decreases as we grow older. And by 13 to 18 years, the average adolescent needs 8 to 10 hours of sleep if he wants to perform at maximum potential. Whereas parents, adults, you and me, generally require only 7 or 8 hours. So this 13 to 8 hours, to 8 to 10 hours is the requirement of the average 15-year-old. Easy way to remember this is to look at this slide. Every 5 years, this is a summary. Every 5 years, the sleep requirement decreases by around 1 year, by 1 hour. So a 5-year-old requires roughly 11 hours. A 10-year-old requires 10 hours. So it is easy to remember. 10 years, 10 hours. A 15-year-old who is going for his board exams requires 9 hours on average. Maybe a little variation. Some will require a little more, little less. A 20-year-old who is doing his degree, engineering, medicine, requires 8 hours, and the average adult requires 7 hours. But study time increases. The home study in UKG, even 1 hour is more than enough. But by fifth standard, maybe they need up to 2 hours of study. And by SSLC, the ninth standard, 10th standard student definitely should be studying 3 hours a day if he wants to attain his maximum potential. Both are important, study and sleep, if you want to do maximum. This
Hmm.
means that on average, sleep plus study will come up to 12 hours.
So we learned that peak performance comes from a combination of adequate sleep time and adequate study time. So that should be in a combination, parallel to each other, rather. But that's what you want to say?
Yes, sir. See, because uh, 3 hours study is definitely required. Is an adolescent in the high school is capable of studying 3 hours. He should be doing that much. Plus 9 hours of sleep. Only when both combined, you will get peak performance. There is a reason for this. First of all, is memory. Supposing I study for 3 hours today very sincerely.
Hmm.
Tonight, if I sleep well, it is in deep sleep that long term memory is established. So, if I sleep well, whatever I have studied today, I will remember. I will remember 3 years, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year from now. And I need to remember. Of course, I will need revision, but still, I will have good long term memory. Whereas if a boy studies 3 hours and then he sleeps for only 7 hours, he will
Hmm.
remember tomorrow. He will remember after 1 month, but
Hmm.
afterwards he will forget. And so this boy will need to revise very frequently compared to a person who has slept adequately.
Hmm.
Secondly, is concentration. If I have slept very well last night, today I will have maximum concentration. I will not daydream at all. I will understand things very clearly and I will study very fast. I will study in 1 hour what a tired child will take 2 hours to study. Thirdly, motivation. Every day we have to study for many years. If you have motivation, only you can do that. And motivation is best when we are adequately rested and fresh. Finally, we should learn maximally in the classroom. Every student is spending some 7 hours on average in the classroom. If he is fresh, if he is concentrated in the classroom, 7 hours he is studying in the classroom. When he comes home, he doesn't have to actually study. Those 3 hours, he will be revising what he has already been taught, revising what he has already studied. He does not have to study fresh. Whereas a person who has studied a lot at home, he goes to the school and he is tired because he has not slept adequately. So he will be drowsy in the classroom and he cannot concentrate and he may be daydreaming. He may not understand what the teacher is saying, and then he's not studying. Sometimes he even falls asleep in the classroom. When he comes back home, for those few hours of study, he has to actually understand and study. Sometimes it is so difficult that he has to take tuitions. Whereas if he had studied for 7 hours in the classroom, 3 hours of revision at home would have made maximum performance. So to get the highest marks, it is not something that I want to boast. Oh, I study 6 hours, 8 hours at home. I want to get the maximum marks. For that, I must study well, but I must also sleep very well. See what is happening. This is very common. There are so many children, they study hard at home 6 hours, and then they come to the classroom and they sleep, or they're drowsy, or they're playful, and they have no concentration. Which is better? I think they should sleep well at home and study in the classroom.
That's what I remember that in a medical college, we used to sit in the front bench when the teacher was giving lecture, and we used to take notes. And by the notes at the exam time, we could recollect what was taught to us by the teacher, and we used to remember the face of the teacher who was speaking in front of us just by the memory, and we could write every paper. So the things has gone in the past, and the new era has come, and a lot of tutorial classes, lot of private education, tutorial, and that is creating a lot of problem, and the children are so busy, and it becomes very difficult. There are only 24 hours in a day, and how will the adolescent manage to find enough time to sleep and study so much?
Yes, sir, that is very important. Time management is something that adolescents are, children always, and even adolescents are very bad at time management, and unfortunately, even some adults. See, what I do when these children come to me, adolescents in the hospital, this is what I tell them. First of all, I ask them, what time do you go to school and what time do you come back? Roughly 8:30 to 4:30, roughly 8 hours a day, including travel time. Then what time should you sleep? You need to sleep 9 hours. I will suggest maybe 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. But when we do this, the morning there is only 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., 1.5 hours. So what will he do in 1.5 hours? He has to do toiletry, he has to have breakfast, and maybe he can study for half an hour or maximum 1 hour. In the evening, he comes back at 4:30. He has to go to sleep at 10 p.m. That means 4:30 when he comes back, he cannot study. He's tired. So he will have some snack. Then he has to go and run around and play. That's very important in children. And then take a bath. And maybe by roughly, my suggestion is by 6 o'clock, he can sit and he's fresh and he can study homework, revision for 2 hours non-stop. Then comes prayers, dinner, TV, family, all the family important functions. So that at 8 p.m. Then by 9 p.m. again he will get time to study for another half an hour. So now we have found totally 3 hours of study. 9:30 p.m. just before going to bed, it is family time for half an hour relaxation. And then 10 p.m. he goes to bed. This is a timetable which I have suggested. But the mother and the adolescent have to sit together and see whether this is practical. Some children have to go to school much earlier, so then the timetable has to be shifted, modified accordingly. Some children come back later. Some children like to study immediately after coming back from school. Then the mother has to adjust. It is not enough for the child to decide. The mother has to fit in prayers, dinner, TV, family time. Everything has to be fixed it together. So this is just a crude time management schedule, and then the mother and the adolescent should sit together and finalize a practical solution for themselves. And even after preparing this, it is important that the child should have regular habits. If at 6 p.m. we have said 6 p.m. he should sit do his homework. If he is watching TV and his mother has to pull him and say, come and sit and study, he will come and sit there, but he will not feel like studying. But if he is going to study for 6 p.m. every day regularly, it becomes a habit. And when it becomes a habit, the moment he sits down at 6 o'clock, his brain becomes alert and he starts studying. So that is what we want. We want him to make a good habit, study at regular hours, meals at regular hours, sleep at regular hours. When you have regular habits, time management becomes very easy. And check what are the time wasters. In the modern era, the maximum time waster is a mobile phone. The child is always on mobile phone, wasting a lot of time. That needs to be curtailed.
So the peak performance comes from the combination of adequate sleep time. So there are 24 hours in a day. How do you How do I know that how much sleep he needs? After all, sleep requirement vary among the individual.
Yes, sir. One thing is the best way to know, because it varies a little bit from children to children. Everybody does not sleep equally. Some sleep 8 hours, some sleep 10 hours. The only way to do it is we need about 10 hours, 10 days of total without class to know exactly. What we do is you put the child to sleep at a regular hour, a reasonable hour at maybe 10 o'clock,
Mm.
and do not wake her up the next morning. So what happens? She will wake up. Maybe she will be so tired. She will wake up after 12 hours, 15 hours, especially after major exam. Let her sleep and check how many hours she's sleeping. For the first 3, 4, 5 days, she will sleep a tremendous amount of time. But after that is because she's sleep deprived. No, if normally we will open our eyes when we are fresh, but she cannot do it. She needs 15 hours of sleep. Let her sleep. After 4 or 5 days, she will start waking up regularly after 8 or 9 or 10 hours. That is her actual sleep requirement. The first 4 or 5 days, she may oversleep because the brain is exhausted. After that, the brain wakes up and she will sleep according to her actual sleep requirement. And then we have to check how many hours she's sleeping from day 5 to day 10. And that average is the average requirement of your child.
So she refuses to go to bed at 10 p.m. My daughter. She often keeps awake till midnight.
So
So
this is
it
a
becomes very difficult to make the children understand. So how do you make them understand in your counseling session?
Yes, sir. So not only adolescents, even children. My parents come to me regularly. My 3-year-old child goes to sleep only at 12 o'clock midnight. She has difficulty. My 5-year-old is going to sleep at 12 o'clock and she has to get up at 7 o'clock to go to school. And I tell her, your 3-year-old child and your 5-year-old child, they do not know how to read the clock. How do they know whether it is 9 o'clock or 12 o'clock? You are responsible. At 12 o'clock, you put off the TV and you go to sleep. And because you need to sleep, you will take the child and put her in bed with you, and she falls asleep. And you feed her only at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. Instead of that, you feed her at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. And then you put her to bed at 9 o'clock. And she will not go to sleep. You have to sleep with the child. And if you sleep with the child at 9 o'clock, the child does not know whether it's 9 o'clock or 11 o'clock. She only knows after dinner, I will get some time. So after dinner at 7 o'clock, she will get time till 9 o'clock. And then you put her to bed and you sleep with her. In half an hour's time, she is deep sleep. When she's sleeping, you wake up and you go and do your work. And you have to do this regularly. And even the 3-year-old children, 5-year-old children, if you put them to sleep firmly, they will go to sleep. They don't even know the time. So blaming them for going to sleep late is raw false. It is you who are committing the mistake. The
Hmm.
same discipline is true for adolescents also. They know the time, but they are going to sleep because they have too much of freedom. If we are firm, if we give them dinner, everything at regular times, if we have a timetable, if we make them adhere to this timetable, a little discipline is necessary in the life of a child and even an adolescent. They have limited capacity to discipline themselves. It is a firm duty of parents to discipline the children. And my personal experience is that if we are regular and explain to them and discipline them, they will listen.
What I'm seeing these days that the children do not see the sunrise, but they see only sunset only. So how do I know whether my adolescent is sleep deprived or not?
Yeah, actually, so that's a very important question. Parents are not aware that their children are sleep deprived. Now, if the child needs to be woken up in the morning, once in a way, everybody needs to be woken up. But if the child routinely needs to be woken up either by the mother or by alarm clock, that means the child is not getting enough sleep. Ideally, every human being should wake up only when their eyes open. And even for adults, we should wake up when our eyes open, and this is practically possible if we are getting enough sleep. If the child has to be routinely woken up, if the child is drowsy during the day and performance is less, if the child falls asleep in the classroom, if the child sleeps much more in the weekend than in the weekday, weekday she is busy, she is going to school. Weekend is free, she doesn't have to go to school, so she's sleeping. Instead of sleeping the usual time, she's waking up at 7 o'clock, she wakes up at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. If she's sleeping excessively during the weekend, it means that during the weekday she was deprived. These are typical symptoms of sleep deprivation. And what we should do is we should not say, okay, you compensate by sleeping extra in the weekend. They must sleep regularly every day, not sleep excessively in the weekend. Only then their brain will be fresh every day rather than only during the weekend.
Hmm. So my daughter spend a lot of time in Instagram, which is happening because all the children are on Instagram rather than on the Facebook these days. Their choice is now shifted from Facebook to Instagram. That's why she doesn't get enough sleep. So because there are a lot of reel on that, and they are busy in that. So what should we do?
So this is now the number one time waster. Yeah, for 30 years ago, it was a television set. Now it is the mobile phone, the screen, or occasionally the laptop. Even adults spend too much time on WhatsApp. Children, okay, WhatsApp, but much more time they spend adolescents on Facebook and especially today Instagram. Then another major time waster is games, PUBG and other games. And okay, these are also YouTube watching reels. So a lot of time is spent on screen time. Now we must not criticize screen time. First of all, there is study screen time, which is important. We are talking about recreational screen time. Even recreational screen time, I spend half an hour, 1 hour on screen on my WhatsApp practically every day. I have no choice. That is good. It is creative. But if I am spending my time watching all the stupid, what you call it, forwards, I will not, and all the videos and all that, I will not have time. I use it for business purposes, for important matters, not for watching unnecessary videos. So we have to limit our screen time in an intelligent manner. We have to decide on a time for screen time. Okay, I will watch from 9 o'clock to 9:30. I will watch in the evening. I will not watch in the morning the moment I wake up. I will not watch just before going to bed. I will watch for a little while. That little while has to be reasonable. For a school child to spend more than 1 hour, adolescent, on screen, TV, mobile, laptop, on play, on recreation, it is not possible. He will not get enough time to study. I would suggest only half an hour, and that is you have to choose Instagram, WhatsApp, whatever. You have to choose what you're going to do. Choose a time when it does not interfere with studies or school, and do it only at that time, not in the morning when your brain is fresh and you have a lot of things to do. Sometime in the evening when you have time, restricted time, that time has to be restricted. If not, if the parents do not restrict their time, adolescents will spend too much time if they get a mobile. After 9:30, there should be no mobile with the adolescent. It should all be with the parent. No mobile in the bedroom. Otherwise, the parents are responsible for the child going to sleep late and waking up tired. No mobile in the morning, because the moment they wake up, they will waste their brain on screen time. Mobile should be given only at a reasonable time in the evening after discussion of rules and regulations with the adolescent, and should be restricted time. There should be practical restrictions. It is a duty of the parent.
That requires the discipline in the family, actually, from the parents too. Other
Yes.
than the poor school performance, does sleep deprivation causes other serious problem?
Actually, yes, sir. Lots of migraine was extremely rare in the past, but today we see so many children with migraine and with vomiting every morning, and with them not able to eat food every morning, which is also actually forms of migraine. Vomiting every morning before going to school, vomiting in the bus every day. Migraine, very common. It used to be rare in childhood. It is common in adults, but rare in childhood in the past. It is now very common. Migraine is the number one of the most important causes of migraine in adults is sleep deprivation, and that is also the most important cause in children. We see migraine, we give them paracetamol, or we give some other medicine. What they need is sleep. We are treating the condition instead of preventing the condition. Depression and anxiety are increasing too much in adolescents these days. If a person is sleep deprived chronically, that is a major stress, and that chronic mild stress will lead to depression and anxiety. And we are treating the child for adolescent for depression and anxiety, and we are not asking why is the child so depressed and anxious. All of us have stress. They have study stress, but every student has study stress. Why are these children
Hmm.
getting more stressed out? Is it because they are not sleeping, so they cannot regulate themselves properly? In adults, road traffic accidents, a very important cause is that they fall asleep in between. Just for 1 or 2 seconds, their mind goes blank while they are driving. overeating. A major problem today is that adolescents and adults, including adolescents, are gaining weight too much. Overweight and obesity are increasing dramatically. Like I said, the chronic sleep deprivation is a state of stress. During any chronic stress, the chronic stress hormones, adrenaline, cortisol, are released, and adrenaline and cortisol both will increase the appetite. So they tend to eat more due to chronic stress, and that is why they are gaining weight. And we don't
Mm.
understand that we are telling them to diet. And as we know in adults, not so much in children, but we see so many young adults dying nowadays of heart attacks. Chronic mild stress, stress will increase blood pressure, it will increase the blood sugar, and it increases the chance of heart attack and stroke.
So we are moving nowadays to the medicine three to prevent the chronic diseases.
Yeah.
We have moved from two to three now. So the important will be this. All the sleep is important, and emotional stability is also important. Once the sleep is good, definitely the children are more emotionally stable, and they listen to the parents also. So my daughter used to be put on the bed by 9 p.m. every night, and she used to sleep very well. But from last 2 years, she complained that she cannot get sleep until midnight. What should I do?
So there is a lot of confusion about this. In childhood, we put the children to sleep. Now, in adolescence, especially this is in the developed countries, in adolescence, by 13 years, the children are getting a lot of freedom. Unlike in India so far, and by 18 years, the adolescent is totally free to do whatever they want. They sleep in their parents' house, but their parents have negligible control over them. So what happens? The first thing that happens is nobody wants to sleep. The children are put to sleep and they go to sleep fast. It becomes a habit. Now the adolescent is let loose, and the adolescent does not want to go to sleep. She would prefer to do WhatsApp, to YouTube, Instagram. She would prefer to talk to her boyfriend in the middle of the night. So there is a dramatic and persistent delay in going to bed. It used to be thought that there is a condition called delayed sleep phase disorder. Somehow the hormones of puberty are disrupting the sleep, and that is why the adolescent used to sleep till at 10 o'clock. Now she can't sleep till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. That was a disturbance of the sleep caused by hormones. So we can't do anything. We are helpless. That was the belief for a long time. But now we know that most of these cases, perhaps there are a few like that, but the majority of these cases are simply due to behavioral problems. The adolescent is getting too much freedom, and she's using the freedom the way all adolescents and children will do it. She's using the freedom for enjoying life tonight. Tonight I will enjoy and forget about feeling tired tomorrow. So they are sleeping too late. There is cure is parental discipline, and well, that is the most important. Secondly, for the last 30 minutes before bedtime, not preferably not to avoid mobile phone, because even watching the light of the mobile phone for a long time actually disturbs the melatonin secretion, the sleep hormones of the brain. Blue light disturbs the sleep hormones of the brain. So too much of blue light, too much of mobile can disturb. If the child is going to sleep at 10 o'clock, no mobile after 9:30. For half an hour at least, she should be free. Let the last half an hour be family time. The family needs to get together, talk together, play together. So this is the most important. I have good success with my patients in my home clinic with this much of advice. It seems that there are sometimes patients who do not respond. The parents, in spite of discipline, they have difficulty for their children have difficulty falling asleep. In such situation, there are techniques and there are even medicines like melatonin which can be used to help the child go to sleep at a more normal hour. I do not much care for these things, but they are used in a small percentage of patients by some psychologists and psychiatrists.
So the my another question is my son has an insomnia. He sometimes take an hour or two just to fall asleep and wakes up feeling unrefreshed. Can you help me?
Yes, unfortunately, insomnia is now much more common than in the past. In the past, after 9 p.m., there is no electricity, no TV, no mobile. So 30, 40, 50 years ago, everybody falls asleep at 9 o'clock. Today, there is too much of electricity is free, and TV is practically free. Mobiles are easily available, and so everybody is suffering from insomnia. We
Yeah.
have already mentioned
Yeah.
anxiety and depression is getting more and more common. And when there is anxiety and depression, they are so stressed out that they can't fall asleep. Their stress of the anxiety, the anxiety keeps them awake. The depression spoils their sleep. Even if the sleep will do, the depression sleep is low quality sleep, they wake up feeling unsatisfied. Another thing is that adolescents, they have a lot to study, so they will drink a lot of coffee. Now, coffee is a stimulant. It acts for 6 hours. Some people don't have much of a problem, but there are some children who are sensitive to it. If you have one cup of coffee for the next 6 hours, they just cannot get sleep. So, too much of coffee, and especially when they drink thick, concentrated coffee, too much of coffee disturbs sleep, and then they have delay in falling asleep until the caffeine gets out of their system. Similarly, adolescents who take alcohol or smoke cigarettes, they have difficulty falling asleep, and even after falling asleep, the quality of sleep suffers because alcohol disturbs the deep sleep and the sleep is shallow. Nicotine is also a stimulant which disturbs the quality of sleep. The tragedy is that there's something called psychophysiologic insomnia. It's a big word, but what it means is that the adolescent has difficulty falling asleep. So he gets stressed out. Oh, I can't sleep. Then I will sleep less tonight. So tomorrow I will do badly in the classroom. Teacher will scold me. I will not do well in the exam. So he's thinking of all the problems that will arise tomorrow. So he loses sleep. Because he is anxious, he cannot get sleep. Because he cannot get sleep, he becomes anxious. So it is a vicious cycle, and the anxiety
Yeah.
leads to sleeplessness, and the sleeplessness leads to anxiety. We have to get rid of the cycle. Tell him that you have to study regularly. If you study, then you need not feel anxious the day before the exam, and you need not fall into this vicious cycle. Sleep hygiene, good sleep habits, and treat any anxiety and depression, and avoid caffeine, alcohol, nicotine. So, finally, sir, sleep hygiene is very important. Avoid caffeine, cigarettes, and alcohol. These are problems in adolescents, not in children. Let the bedroom be quiet, dark, and cool. It should be cool, not too hot, not too cold. Try to deal with things that make you worry. Adolescents are frequently worried about their studies. The only way they can solve this problem is that they have to study every day from June 1st until the end of the year. They cannot try to cram in the just before the exam, and they will feel stressed out. They have to study on a regular basis throughout the year, so then they will not have excess anxiety. Little anxiety is normal. Too much anxiety will spoil sleep and spoil exams. They should learn to relax before bedtime. The last half an hour before bedtime should be a relaxed mode, no mobile phones preferably, and spend time with family whenever possible. Have a regular sleep time. If we have good habits, regular sleep time, regular waking time, regular food times, we habits make life much more easy. If we have irregular sleep times, it is much more difficult to fall asleep. Use your bed only for sleeping. Those who do enjoyable things in bed, they will be listening to loud music in the bed, and they will be talking to their friends in bed. They will be lying down and talking, so they associate the bed with all sorts of pleasant things, so they have difficulty falling asleep. Whereas a person who uses the goes to bed only to sleep at night and there is no entertainment, he gets used to the idea that the bed is meant for sleeping, and it becomes a habit to fall asleep very fast. And if finally, if an adolescent who has a lot to study, if you are not asleep after 20 minutes, 20 minutes is quite a long time. Normally, we fall asleep in 10 to 15 minutes, 5 to 15 minutes. If after 20 minutes you are not getting sleep, the best thing for an adolescent to do is to get up and study for half an hour, 1 hour. That means one, he is using the time in a creative manner. Secondly, after studying for 1 hour, if you sit and try to revise, be assured you will begin to feel sleepy. So that 1 hour is not wasted and you will get your sleep. So this makes you are resilient. You are converting a deficit, a problem into a solution. You are actually studying better because on every day that you do have difficulty falling asleep, you feel positive, and the more when you feel positive, your sleep patterns will improve.
So, to conclude, I would say that sleep is not only physical health, but mental health, dental health, and emotional health. And if you get a good sleep, you are maintaining all need of good health so that you can have no issue in the study habit, and you are away from the stress of examination because you have studied well, because you are physically, mentally, emotionally healthy. So sleep and sleep is very important for human being. For every living organism, sleep is important. But due to mobile and all latest gadgets, sleep has disturbed. The demands of the children has changed. Family has changed. A good parenting by the parents for themselves only. They if they sleep in time, definitely the children will follow. So it is we want to make children to learn, but I always say that before children, parents are responsible for everything, and they should understand if they sleep in time, definitely the children will follow their sequence. Thank you so much, Dr. Newton Luiz, that you have explained the topic, a difficult topic, in a very simple way. Hope that the
So,
viewers are benefited, pediatricians are benefited, adolescent physician in Indian Academy of Pediatrics, adolescent chapter, and the pediatrician who are not member of IIP, they are benefited, and the public is also benefited who are viewing this show, Dr. Tuteja Talk Show. Thank you so much for devoting time with us. Thank you, and we will come back with another topic with you someday. Thank you so much being with
thank you,
us.
sir. Thank you very much. And thank you to all those who have listened to this video. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.